So let's hit the groundwork. Driving into the studio today, and we got an announcement that Zillow, and by the way, let's back up. We had Zillow's CFO on the show when their book came out. And one of the questions I think you asked Ali, straight up, right to the point, is Zillow trying to take out the real estate agent? And he said an emphatic no. They're relevant. They're needed in this market.
Exactly, because essentially what they were saying is that we're a technology company that's trying to add additional tools to facilitate the real estate process and to facilitate the job of a real estate agent.
Yeah, so let's talk about this for a second. When consumer goes to Zillow, on the right-hand side, you're going to see real estate agents and the stars and how they're ranked and things like that. And if you want more information on the property, you can go up and then click on them and they'll call you and all that kind of stuff. Well, how that happens is real estate agents pay a crazy amount of money, tons of money, to be that person, right? So they're funding Zillow to drive the consumer to them to get more information on that property or other properties and really, hope to create a relationship with you and close a deal with you.
Exactly. And essentially, what is the asset? What is the asset that is being sold? It's the listings. So the listings are driving the traffic to the site. They then click on the contact information for the listing agent or another agent to be able to check out that particular listing.
Yeah.
So the assets are the listings themselves.
Yeah, and I would argue the eyeballs, right? The consumer's eyeballs. You're at Zillow, right? Your eyeballs are there. You're going there. They're paying for it. All that kind of stuff. So okay, we bought into it. That's fine. Okay. So until today, right? We found out that they are doing 2 pilot programs. One in Las Vegas and one in Orlando, Florida. And here's where the concept is. They are allowing a person who is looking to sell their home to don't have to engage a real estate agent, but you can actually go to a platform that Zillow has, and guess what? You can list your home for sale.
Yeah, it's called instant offers.
Instant offers.
Instant offers. And essentially, this particular feature allows a potential seller to upload, like you said, videos, photography, various features of the home that's being sold. A very nice description of that's going to get crafted by the seller himself or herself or themselves. And at that point, you're basically saying, hey, I want instant offers. And once you've uploaded that, they've pre-qualified what they call investors, buyers, that have already been pre-approved, pre-qualified, and they can then submit offers on the home that you've uploaded on their site.
Yeah. Guess what? Did we hear that you going to use a real estate agent at any part in this transaction in order to facilitate it?
There is a footnote that essentially says that once you've uploaded the information onto the site and you have now received offers on the listing that you've created, that they offer the option of putting you in touch with a real estate agent to take you through the process.
Yeah, and so what I'm calling this is something to pacify the people who are paying you all the money for marketing, because you've got buyer and seller who have come to terms, right? What do you need? Why do you need a real estate agent? Why are you going to pay them more money?
Exactly. Now, here's the interesting part. Like you said, the site is being paid for by the real estate agents. The assets are those listings, and they're taking away the assets and essentially becoming in control of distributing that asset themselves directly. What's the cost for doing that?
So right now, the pilot program there is a big zero. They're not charging anything for someone to list their home, get offers in, and consummate the deal. By the way, and again, for real estate agents who are listening and loan officers, we work in something called what's called Dot Loop. Dot Loop is just it's a platform to control documents in the transaction. Allows people to sign offers all through DocuSign and things like that.
Exactly, and actually, it's got some really cool features because you can put together your team.
Yeah.
That team gets featured up front as to who your loan officer is, who your stager is, and your inspector is, and your attorney is.
Yeah.
So that gets up front, and it actually facilitates the communication of this team really quite seamlessly.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that.
Who owns that?
Yeah, Zillow. Zillow paid $108 million for this platform, right?
Exactly.
Which is weird because I don't think the barrier to entry to buy, and I think the cost associated with it every month is out of control. I think the entry is pretty low to get into it. So I don't think it was a money grab because they got this this monthly income from real estate agents. I think it's really how to facilitate this the process and taking the real estate agent out of it. And I just think, again, coming in, it's just mind blowing how millions and hundreds of millions of dollars they've used to create the platform based on the revenues of real estate agents advertising on their platform.
Listen, if you and I were to look back 10 years ago, taxi medallions were worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Tons.
They're worthless now. You have Uber. You have the hotel industry that's being challenged by Airbnb.
Baby.
You have the mall industry that's being challenged by Amazon. And so for real estate agents to sort of turn a blind eye to what is happening in literally their backyard with regards to how this technology is going to facilitate real estate transactions from happening. And essentially, it creates a massive incentive for a seller not to want to employ a real estate agent. For that matter, not to want to employ a buyer's agent on the buyer's side, because you're talking about the biggest line item as far as costs are concerned associated with a real estate transaction. We all know what that is. So if you can get rid of that or minimize it to the bare minimum, that spells disaster. Now, do we blame Zillow for doing what it's doing? No, we don't. Zillow is a technology company.
That's right.
It is doing what has always set its goal to do, which is facilitate real estate transactions. They said that then. They said, no, it's not going to be a death of a real estate agent. They're going to continue to say it now because they go, hey, we're still facilitating, putting the real estate agent into the mix of this. But listen, don't turn a blind eye to this. Now, we have the largest trade organization in the world, which is the National Association of Realtors, that has seen this. They've seen what Zillow has done. They see what Zillow is doing, yet there is not a single word that comes out of National Association of Realtors with regards to what's happening. What do you and I advocate when we see something like this? We don't say run and hide. We say, okay, here's a technology company that's offering phenomenal means of being able to facilitate real estate transactions. Well, NAR, you need to be that technology company. You need to get a hold of additional tools and offer those tools to your members, which are realtors, and facilitate real estate transactions by the means of technology.
Yeah, I always always said that when realtors got freaked out about the fact that Zillow was providing information, I just told them, guys, that just means your job changed a little bit, right? You're not the one that's providing information. You're not the one sending them out or saying, oh, hey, I found this, because again, the consumer found it before you. That just changed, right? And now you're in negotiation. Now you're going to be big into that. Well, and that had a lot of value. But again, when you're 25 years old, had your job for a little while, you're looking to buy your first place in South Boston, all you know is technology, you've grown up that way, it's black and white. Hey, I'm going to offer you this for your property. Take it or leave it, or let's negotiate a little bit. But it's just changing. The landscape is changing. So we're not trying to be doom and gloom here, guys, at all. What we're trying to do is let you guys know it's coming down the pike. You can bury your head in the sand and say it's not going to happen to me, or you can embrace it but also try to find some tools that get them away from Zillow, get them into a different way to search for real estate. But God, they're a juggernaut.
I say if you're a real estate agent, you need to pick up the phone and call your local board. If it's the Greater Boston Association of Realtors, if it's the National Association of Realtors, you need to pick up the phone and call them and say, what are we doing about this? Yeah. Because this is technology that's facilitating transactions from happening in the absence of agents, and we need to be heard, and that voice needs to be set.
We need to get, we're good friends with G-Bar as well. We've had them on the show for many years. Let's try to get them on in the next week, couple of weeks, and get their take on it. So anyway, if you're just tuning in, this is Real Estate Radio Boston. Again, we talked about it. We got Tim Sullivan, Executive Director from Mass Housing in here, just a mortgage program that's near and dear to our heart. They're a quasi-government agency, and really looking to put the first-time home buyer, or maybe the fifth-time home buyer that just doesn't have 20% to put down. They've carved out such a great mortgage product to really take care of them. Literally, if you lost your job and you're under this PMI plus, they will pay your mortgage payment, a certain percentage of your mortgage payment, up to 6 months. So anyway, guys, you got to listen up. It's a great program. We'll be right back.